Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. This is the part of the show where I pitch my Patreon page so you can help support juicy Houston area craft beer audio in your ear hole. We didn't make it to the moon on zero money. It was well funded. Taxpayer dollars. I don't have the taxpayers behind me. I have you the supporters. So if you want to get us to the moon of podcasts, wherever that is, feel free to subscribe on Patreon. Exclusive shows there, guys. Up to 11 now. Exclusive only for Patreon subscribers with insider information. So,
anyway. More moon talk?
A lot of moon talk, actually. I think.
Sign me up.
Well, yes. Did we go to the moon? We've covered that before. Yeah. So, and Earth, flat or not. All things covered.
It's very complicated.
It is. You know, that whole curvature and things. Anyway.
A lot of the sciences.
Yes. So maybe, well, I'm not going to spill the beans yet. You'll just have to listen to the rest of the show. So subscribe and sponsor and support if you'd like. And if not, just thanks for listening. Anyway, on to our show.
The following is a presentation of Stewed Productions.
Hey there, this is Michael Duckworth. You're at True Anomaly with InterBrews, talking with...
And this is Tom, also at True Anomaly.
Let's just do this.
This is InterBrews.
It'd be interesting if we did a show at a place on like a state line or something where you can actually be in two separate places.
Well, there's the Four Corners, I hear. I've never been there. But
me neither.
If you're going to set your bar.
Yeah. Well, that's how this podcast got to where it is, but with a low bar.
Right.
But I suppose we could notch it up a little bit.
You're hanging out with us, so.
No, now it's high. I started it with it low, tripped over it, and then stumbled into greatness.
Intermediate.
Yeah.
Intermediate bar.
It's not how rap songs go, man.
I don't have no rhythm, so me rapping is well, we'll see how that goes. Maybe maybe for the Patreon.
That's what I was thinking.
Supporters.
Yeah. There you go.
I'll drop
Exclusive
that album.
show.
Kanye was just in town. Maybe.
That's right.
Yeah.
Did y'all didn't happen to go? Did you?
No, we didn't. I didn't make it over there.
Yeah.
Lakewood, right?
Yeah,
At a church.
Lakewood and at the Harris County jail or Houston.
Oh,
jail.
he did the Johnny Cash thing, huh?
He did.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
There's a video out there. It was
right.
Yeah. So, big ups to Kanye. That was, I have listened to that album. I'm not really a rap fan. I tried.
Not with that attitude.
No, exactly. Not with that. Yeah, and not with that effort. But just like with your brewery, my effort did not produce a brewery like this because I was always like, yeah, that would probably be cool. You guys didn't do that. You were like, we're doing it. And you set forth, and now
it took a long time. There was a lot of, are we doing it? Are we not doing it? I don't know. I mean, we can. I don't know how long you want to talk about that.
Let's just keep brewing beer.
Yeah, we're making beer now.
Yeah. This home brewing thing, that's the level. That's the low bar. That's
the low
right,
bar.
Man,
that's why we're intermediate right here.
Yeah. But you persevered, and eventually it all came together the way it was supposed to come together, because obviously we're here now. Like the universe, right? Somehow we got here. I'm always going to go back to that because you guys were at NASA.
I love the theme. Yeah,
star particles. That's what you are.
Star. Yeah. That's a good beer name.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, right.
Write it down.
Always looking for beer names.
That's right.
Copyright that. That beer name. Copyright.
We can't do that. It's expensive.
Oh, all right. Dibs? You can just call dibs.
We can just call dibs.
If that works,
get this podcast on the air.
Let me get my other list out. I'm just gonna.
It'll be up tomorrow.
About 12 names and say dibs.
If you can just keep somebody from walking by and hearing it, I don't know. I don't know if other breweries send spies over. You're close to other breweries. I don't know how it goes.
I imagine they listen to this.
They do, but I'm saying, and this is going to be up tomorrow, so that we have a little bit of intermediate. So if either one of y'all or myself is
we'll sign a contract when we're done here.
Okay.
Silence for 24 hours.
Okay. No, I'm dibs. Instagram.
You did. Okay. Do that. Hashtag dibs. Yeah. Oh, speaking of hashtags, did you see? Well, there's a new one this morning that I saw. Fartgate.
Oh yeah.
Did you see
I saw the. I saw
was that real?
It wasn't me.
It didn't smell it either. He said it didn't even smell.
Yeah.
Oh really?
Well, if it wasn't him and it didn't smell,
whoever smelt it dealt it, right? So he had to say he couldn't smell.
He has people that guided him in.
It could have been the cameraman, or maybe the boom operator, whatever that whoever holding the boom.
Yeah. The boom was. There was a lot of boom there.
This is just things Tom knows that happens in recordings. Isn't there a guy with a boom?
I mean,
what was the angle of the boom?
Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe he was holding it in the wrong spot. I don't know. Maybe there's new techniques of boom angle holding, and that I don't know.
Maybe technology's gotten so good that we just hear everything.
Yeah.
Maybe we don't need to.
Yeah,
That's true.
It's true.
Just like HD is a little too good now as well. We don't need to see everything.
8K. We're getting to.
8K sound.
It seems weird.
So that's you hear.
That's
that
a thing?
No, I don't know. I'm sure.
Yeah.
I don't
That's
know.
why we heard the fart, I think.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Right.
THX.
Yeah, like super surround, like not even surround, inside sound.
There you go.
That's what you got with him. That was. It was
X-ray sound.
It was stomach noises.
2.0.
It was just
Number-
digesting.
number-
When you have your ear on the.
Yeah, it was just it was a loud
Hear too
digestion.
much.
Yeah.
Who
That was
knows?
he did it right.
I've actually haven't heard it, so I need to listen to it myself. I've just seen about it.
It was on Twitter on a loop, and I just sat there in my just as I got as first. I don't know why I pick up my phone and look at that first thing. Like that's how I need to start my day. Those are the things I need to put into my brain.
Yeah.
And on first thing, like when I come in to do a podcast.
Content.
Yeah. So it's like it's paying off now, I guess. Yeah, it's 6 minutes of fart talk, but I was laughing just so he should have claimed it.
I think it would have been the right move.
Yeah, even
I
if
think
it
he would have
wasn't.
gotten a lot of praise on
Yeah.
social media for claiming it.
Don't fart shame me.
Yeah,
There's
for
no
sure.
fart shaming is not okay.
Right.
Not-
Now it's borderline perjury, I guess. If
Yeah.
we find out it goes the other direction, I don't know if
Yeah.
we'll ever know.
I mean, he could have
but
been under oath for all we know. I don't know.
Yeah,
Are they? I don't
that's
know.
true.
I don't think they
Still
walk
true.
into the booth with
Anyway,
a color.
no funny smells here though. Actually, delicious smells in this glass.
There we go.
That's a segue.
There we go.
Let's talk some beer.
All right.
Yeah, all right. We got these Brett beers on. Let's talk about those.
Those smell nice.
Those don't smell like your average beer.
Uh-huh.
That's right.
I'm drinking currently my second beer. I had a tour beer,
There you go.
the Summer Triangle, and we kind of did the 3-point tour.
All the
That
important
room,
things.
that room, and then this room. So it was appropriate, and it feels like a summer day if you lived in Maine.
Yeah.
Outside, it feels great.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Perfect.
amazing.
Beautiful day out. So downtown Houston. This is considered downtown, right?
Yeah.
We're downtown.
East
I think-
downtown, Edo, East
Yeah.
Village, whatever you want
I
to
mean,
call it.
we're downtown. This is
This
the
is-
heart of
This
downtown,
is
I would say.
the heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of things that you can actually do downtown.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're in the shadow, literally in the shadow of the convention center.
That's right.
If you were to, I don't know, which direction is Minute Maid from here? And
It's
Further east.
Further
I guess
east.
But
northeast-ish.
if you were to climb up on your building, you could probably see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
We actually need to put a patio up there. I don't think our roof would hold it, but we'll try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, you guys are from NASA. You can figure that out. We put a man on the moon, right?
That's true.
You
Supposedly.
could put some handful of people on this roof. You know?
Not for long, but we could.
It's getting them back. That was always the hardest
That's
part.
always the hard part.
Getting them
yeah,
back in
we
one
got
piece.
we got a lot of signs for one-way trips.
Okay. Well, okay. I'm really curious about the NASA thing because you automatically you hear NASA and you're like, okay, this is out of. These guys are way smarter. That's why I just run in and dumb it down real quick with the fart stuff. 'Cause it's like I got to bring this down to my level. But NASA, you guys were all at NASA.
True story. Tom, what'd you do at NASA?
I was a project manager. I did human in the loop test management for whenever we were putting people into harm's way inside a vacuum chamber or whatnot. I would manage the budget and the schedule, which is exactly as boring as it sounds.
Okay.
And I would also make sure it was safe, and that was a little more exciting. So
Okay.
yeah,
Right.
Okay.
yeah.
That sounds awesome.
And-
You
and
built a
Michael
couple
over here.
tools too.
I built some tools for the astronauts that were doing spacewalks.
Yeah.
One of which actually let a whole bag of my tools float away.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she forgot to tether it, and it
So-
off it went.
It's up there somewhere.
I think it's landed by now. I think it
Oh.
deorbited, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh.
I
Yeah.
think it.
Do they track even a
Oh,
tool
they track.
bag?
Yeah, they
They
track
track.
anything over like the size of a baseball or golf ball or something like that. So.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
wow.
No, it was fun. Yeah, 4 guys worked at NASA. Yeah, Michael over here did contracting, which really came in handy when we were building this place.
Yeah.
He put the screws to our contractors, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, they didn't like doing negotiations with me. That's probably true.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you've dealt with. I mean, what are you dealing with? Like, I assume for NASA, you're having to procure, I don't know, adamantium or something like
Rockets.
something.
No bullshit. So I think one of the best purchases I did was a Delta IV Heavy rocket.
That's cool.
So we went and then procured it. I don't know, forever ago. And then in 2013 we had the test flight that it actually flew on. So that was real cool, right? To go
Yeah.
out and actually see the piece of hardware that you purchased and saw through the life cycle kind
Who-
of come to life and
Who makes
take off.
rockets? Like where are they made?
ULA made that one. So
United Launch Alliance for the
right,
women.
yeah.
Okay.
In case you're looking to buy one, you need a point of reference of where you can go.
Is there Amazon? They have an Amazon
Yeah,
landing
yeah.
page or something?
I will say, I will tell you, it was in excess of about $250 million. So
Wow.
you're probably not going to buy one.
So like
No.
installments.
No.
But
then-
matter of fact, yes.
When we were building this place and Duck was fighting with the contractors over, $1,000, it was just a different scale for him. But he was really good at it.
Yeah, it turns. I mean, like, yeah, those dollars we throw around for those procurements we did in NASA. I mean, they're real dollars. They're taxpayer dollars. I'm doing my damnedest to get every one of those back to the taxpayer, doing its best value. But it's still not my money.
Yeah.
So,
Right.
but and I don't get a return on that, right?
Right.
They need to incentivize it. Even if it was like 0.01% something you got back,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you'd work harder.
Yeah. Well, what's 0.01% of $8 jillion?
Right.
Enough.
It
A
gets
lot.
big.
Yeah, to keep me around.
Yeah.
I had to leave though to do this. So,
But no, yeah. Honestly, homebrewing's really popular hobby for the NASA engineers, and you've probably met a lot of oil and gas people, engineers
Yeah.
in general, because essentially it's a science project with mixed with a little bit of art, and then when you're done, you end up with beer, which is nobody can be upset about. So
I had a lot of smart friends growing up that went into engineering and stuff. I couldn't, but I hung out with them, and so I think that prepared me for this.
there you go.
Like I can be the guy that just nods and
hangs
yes.
out with engineers.
Yeah.
yeah.
And not
I was
feel
bred for this.
Yes, it's like I know how to. Feeling dumb
Yeah.
it doesn't really faze me anymore. I'm
Yeah.
fine. So
We were very, very fortunate. We came into the Clear Lake area, and like Tom said, homebrewing was a popular hobby amongst many of the graybeards that had already been doing it for 20, 30 years.
Yeah.
And that had a lot of the technical skills that through repetition teaches you. And we came in, and they already had full bore set up all grain systems a dozen plus years ago.
Yeah.
Before they were readily available. I mean, you go today, you can go to Amazon or wherever else and get a pretty high-tech system for honestly a really good value now. Right? You got $500,000, you can go be a whatever scale you want to be, almost homebrewer. We were getting stainless steel pots that were made for
Turkey frying.
Yeah, turkey fry. That was Tom's first gift to me in the homebrew
Yeah.
life.
Oh.
Yeah, we
It was
lived together
actually
at
a
the
gift to
time.
myself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was one of
man.
those gifts that you give that you really wanted yourself, but kind of things.
Yeah.
Because we were roommates, so I knew it would stick around.
Come back to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. That next week he said, "Hey, let's play with that present I bought you."
Yeah.
Just like those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles we were talking about earlier.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which latest season of the Toys That Made Us? Is that what it's called? Toys
Yeah,
That
the toys that made us.
Yes.
They got a good jingle and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a. Got you.
Good job.
Sorry. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was one of those.
It was a
pets.
little turtle. He just came out.
he was going to save the world later, but
Yeah, no, it was a bug.
now they're going to take over the Foot. Right? It was the Foot Clan.
Mm.
Yeah.
The Foot Clan, yeah.
Man, you
Anytime
guys
you
remember
had
a lot more
clan
than I do.
anything, it makes
That's-
it a lot serious.
Yeah, that's the stuff that I remembered. It was never formulas. Like that's the thing. Like with home brewing, I read a lot of books, and then it gets to the formulas of how to figure out your whatever, and I'm like, next.
Yeah.
Let me go to the history. Okay, styles of beer.
They got a video for this.
Yeah, yeah. I never wanted to practice like math and stuff, and so I was like, no, I just probably don't need it. And then everybody got smartphones, and I was right. Turns out
Yeah.
vindication.
Right.
That is true.
Right.
That is true.
Yeah.
But characters on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. And hint, we have software that does a lot of this, those equations here at the brewery for us as
Yeah,
well. So,
I saw it coming.
Yeah.
I still do, there's sometimes I write some stuff down on paper, but,
What
I bet
happened?
you I could name as many Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle characters as beer styles off the top.
sounds like maybe that should be some of your premiere content
Hey,
for later.
I think so. That's actually that's going to be tough.
Yeah, you could do it.
I mean,
First, go watch the Toys That Made Us. I watched it last night, so it's all fresh and ready now. It all brought it back.
I know I've been deeper into beer. There's 110 certain like recognized style, maybe more than that.
Right,
Yeah,
yeah,
I don't
and
know.
they have variations. We found out recently. So there's Berliner Weiss, there's Goza, technically same.
Yeah,
According to
BCGB.
some,
Yeah.
some people.
but wait, who says they're the same?
JBF.
The GABF category, when you enter beers into
those
the
are the same?
competition, they're judged in the same category, which surprised
I think
me.
one's, I can't remember. Let's say
I'm gonna
80.
go-
It's like
yeah.
80A and 80B, right?
Wow.
But technically it's just category 80, and that's
Yeah,
it.
They give a medal to Berliner and Goza as if it was one style, which I'm going to go ahead and put my
foot down.
my foot down and say maybe GABF should think about that next year.
I think so too. There's probably other styles we can get rid of if they're reaching their limit.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what
they have been introducing a few other areas.
They got all the hazies in there now.
There's a hazy pale now.
Good. Yeah, which is
Isn't
good.
it? That's a category.
Yeah, they've got them all.
Yeah.
They're all over the place. Yeah.
We just need more judges, I guess.
Yeah.
We got all the beers and all the brewers and stuff but judges.
It certainly is an operation over there. I haven't seen them actually do the judging, but I know it's got to be a challenge.
Yeah, much kudos. I can't imagine getting in 10,000 plus.
I mean, they had like
within 3 days
some
figuring out what they do.
Well, and just finding people that are good enough to dialed in enough because it's a chore. I mean, you have to be dedicated to that. That's a craft in and of itself, is to be able to really analyze a beer.
And you can only judge for so long until you're 3 sheets. You're like, I'm drunk. I can't judge anymore.
Right. And you have to, you have to. It's not like wine. You can't just. There's not a spit bucket because you don't get all the flavors if you don't swallow
That's
beer.
That's a good point. I wonder. That's a good. I've not seen them do it. I wonder if they do spit.
They do it. No, they do it just like we do.
All right.
Yeah.
Good.
A healthy sip there. And
yeah.
It's now, we just got our scoring sheets back.
We did.
Yesterday.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
How'd it go?
Well, we didn't win anything. I don't know if you noticed that or not. But no. So they only provide you so much information.
Yeah.
The scoring sheets were interesting. Honestly, from what we got back, pretty favorable. We had 4 that went past. So we submitted 5 beers. 4 went to the second round at a minimum, we know. So from what we understand anyway, generally speaking, about 75% get cut in that first round. So that's good nod, but top 25%, right? So that's nice. And then 2 of our beers made it to the final round.
That's cool.
So it's, again, they don't tell you where you ended up.
They don't
or anything.
tell you how many beers were on that final table.
Right. But if you assume that, hey, there were 100 beers in this category, you made it first round, that got it to 25, and you made it past the second round, and again, it probably got cut to another 25, then maybe you're in the top 10%-ish. Who knows? I mean, if anything else, it's, hey, you're going in the right direction. With these beers, and they're contenders, and maybe if you just sharpen it up in a couple places, they, take away something one day.
Yeah, well, and they're judging to a very strict guideline of what their
style.
Style specific. This is what and who else is in that? Like, I was telling my daughter tried out for volleyball for the first time, and she's athletic. She's been doing like gymnastics for years and years, so like really fit, but she's about this tall.
Yeah,
and they had over 100 girls try out they're picking like 25 and maybe more like 120 or something like that. And she made it to the final cut, and she'd never played volleyball before, so she just got through on her athleticism. But then they had all these girls. It turns out their team has like swept the entire league. So it's like, okay, if you'd gone to this other school, you'd probably be the star player. But it just so happens that your neighborhood has all these, really good athletes or whatever.
Right. And maybe they had some fundamentals.
Yeah.
Paid dividends.
Yes, exactly. So
that's where the home brewing comes in.
Yes, if I probably overstate it way too much on this podcast in the however many episodes it's been, but beer and middle school girls volleyball are basically one
of the same. Can't distinguish between the two.
Same side of the or 2 sides of the same pancake, basically.
We talk about that all the time in here.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's so cliche. It's cliche by now. I shouldn't even. I apologize for going to that one more time. But oh well for that well. Let's talk beer.
Yeah, we'll see. We got a lot of episode left. We'll see if it comes back.
It'll come back because like I said, it's woven into the nomenclature. I don't even know what nomenclature means, but I
think that you use it properly.
Close enough. I think that's right.
Okay.
Good. At least for yourself.
Yes.
In your own universe.
Mm-hmm. In my flat universe.
Yeah. Excited to see where we get to that one on Patreon.
Have you ever run into, does anybody,
No, I've never met an actual flat earther.
Not even online on Reddit or something?
I try to
Do you ever
keep
jump in there?
offline. No. Yeah. Reddit's a bit of a black hole.
If those existed.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think if I have. I really don't know that I have either. I bet you if they were in this building here, they'd probably avoid the topic, don't you think?
Well, they might just present themselves to us. Hey,
I don't know.
It's kind of like the moon landing deniers, right? Like, would one come in and be like, I've got a story for you?
I mean, if they really wanted to start some shit, sure. But I guess, some people do, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true. Especially after about 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a brewery event. we could put together.
Yeah, we could have a little conference.
Wait, I just want the moon landing deniers to argue with the flat earthers.
Okay.
About what?
I don't know, but I feel like they would argue about some shit.
I think they're on the same page.
I don't know if they are. What's that Venn diagram look?
What about the space is fake group?
I don't know.
Maybe we can. Maybe
I think that's kind of like flat Earth, isn't it? I don't even know. But anyway.
I think it's like
we're in a bubble kind of thing.
Yeah, like something like that. Like it's all.
Well,
like
how can
Truman
you be in
Show.
a bubble if you're flat? Sounds like they need to talk.
It's like a snow globe.
It's like a snow globe. Yeah. Yeah. It's like we're in a giant snow globe.
Yeah. Did you ever see Truman Show?
Yeah.
I really enjoyed Truman Show, actually.
Based on a true story.
There you go.
Boats.
So anyway,
dibs.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to talk about some beer? Did you?
I mean, since we're here, since you brought it up, you guys are doing beers that you do not see around Houston. You guys have a unique approach and variety and tap listing that you do not see in other places.
Sure. We're trying to bring some different styles to the area. We've been brewing. We brew a little bit of everything, but yeah, we focus on Belgian styles. Our hop forward ales, of course, we're going to do IPAs, and then we do sours and wilds. So, yeah, some of the stuff that you maybe haven't seen around town here, like the Grisette, real light, easy drinking, like a wheat session saison called Small Giant, real easy drinking.
That was one of those that got to the final round.
That got to the final table. Yeah, that's a historical style that the miners in France used to drink after their shift. So kind of like a sustenance beer, kind of like a Belgian, Trappist ale that they would drink to kind of sustain themselves.
I hear saison is the brewer's style. Like that's.
I love saisons.
Yeah, I mean,
amongst the brewers.
I hear that a lot just from anecdotally brewers. I don't know. I think
is that a new brewery?
A lot of
anecdotal
brewing companies. Probably exists. To be honest with you. Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, a lot of brewers themselves actually drink, some pretty light styles like pilsners and light lagers and things that a lot of the craft beer community in general isn't necessarily big on. But that being said, lagers and pilsners are really becoming a larger category in craft beer, so that's good. It's good to see. But yeah, no, I mean, I love saisons. That yeast character really brings the beer to life. It's got that kind of pepper spice flavor to it. So that's kind of when people come in here looking for a light lager. We will often put that Small Giant, the Grisette, in front of them and say, hey, here's our lightest beer. Let us know what you think. And 9 times out of 10, they like it, and it's kind of our gateway beer into the other styles that we brew. So we brew a dry hop saison called Contact Light, which has Mosaic dry hops. Going to be a little bit stronger in the 6-7% range, and your traditional saison, but dry hopped with a new American hop Mosaic, right? So it's a smash up of really kind of two different things. And that was even one of the comments we got on Contact Light at GABF. There's like, good saison flavor, but this tastes like an American hop. And I was like, well, yeah, it is an American hop.
And that's the other one that made it to the final round.
Well, yeah.
And they said, fit style, question mark? And we submitted it as a specialty saison. But I don't know how
So this is when you were saying, like, how do they get all this judging done? The judges weren't even really necessarily aware of what category they were judging in.
I wouldn't say that.
But anyway, I don't know. Yeah.
Maybe we weren't intelligent enough to put it in the right category.
It is not a traditional saison. That's obviously cool.
Right. So that's what threw them off.
Right. Yeah.
Which we thought made it special.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Specialty saison.
Yeah. Well, sometimes that's just. It's not even It's not. It's just kind of a mental like. This is not. Just making an observation. It's not even like a knock on if it was in that particular.
Yeah. Depends on where you submit it, but yeah, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, and then the other different stuff that we do, like you mentioned, is the wild and sour stuff, the Brett beers. So we've got 2 foeders in our barrel room here, where we.
What are foeders, Tom?
Foeders are just basically big giant barrels that are, if you envision a regular old bourbon wine barrel on its side, the foeder is on its end, so it's tall. And large. We have 12 barrel foeders, so we can actually do active fermentation in them. They're in our climate-controlled barrel room, but when you're doing fermentation in there, there's no glycol, so they might get a little bit warm. They might get that's part of the process.
There's a variation in temperature.
Variation in temperature during fermentation. The beer, the foeder will kind of expand and contract during when the room gets warmer and colder, and the beer seeps in and out of the wood, which is exactly the point. So those foeders house a couple of our house strains. And we've done multiple beers in them. We did one kind of really kind of weird smash up style called Moonbow, which was a wild ale, but kind of hopped like a Northeast IPA, like a New England IPA. We did a cherry beer. This is the Daisy Explorer for our Daisy Chain project, and then what you're drinking there is Amelia, which is a Lithuanian farmhouse. So all the rage right now are Kvik yeasts.
Yes,
you heard of those?
Mm-hmm.
So they can ferment at much higher temperatures. We're talking 80, 90 degrees without giving crazy bad off flavors.
It's a homebrewer's dream.
It's a homebrewer's dream.
We were 12 years ago. We were not experiencing these 80 degree, 90 degree fermentable yeast that just did great.
Yeah, typically when you ferment with normal brewer's yeast at 80, 90 degrees up here is going to taste like garbage. So these are pretty cool. They're new, relatively new anyway. A lot of the yeast labs out there are really branching out to different parts of the world and finding these things all over the place. So that one fermented at about 85 degrees in our foeder, and then we dry hopped it with crystal hops. So kind of a traditional, kind of more, it's an American hop, but it's got some noble characteristic to it, kind of the earthy, grassy flavors to it. So anyway, it's some deep dives on a few of the beers, but we're going to keep beers moving through those foeders, and then we're doing a whole bunch of barrel aging back there as well of both sours and bourbon barrel beers. Mm-hmm. It's going to be a little bit before we have those ready, but those will be in bottles, I don't know, here in the next 3, 4, 5, 6 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, foeder questions.
Yeah.
Okay. One, up and down as opposed to horizontal.
Yeah.
Is that a yeast fallout kind of thing?
It's shaped more like a regular fermenter. Mm-hmm. So in a way, yes, when we want to do active fermentation in the vertical foeder, we get a little bit better flocculation. The yeast will flock to the bottom. That being said, you got to be careful. We're getting real technical here now, but you can get autolysis of the yeast if they sit on the beer too long. Right. So we've got a little bit more hydrostatic pressure on the yeast in our vertical foeder than you would in a horizontal foeder. Okay. But the beer will clarify a little bit better. Okay. They both can work. I know a lot of breweries out there are getting horizontal foeders as well. They fit in our footprint a little bit better because they take up less space.
Okay, right.
So it just depends on what you're looking for.
Yeah, for cleaning and processing as well, it allowed us to have a manway both on top and kind of on the bottom, so we could access it from the top. So if we did do something interesting there, steam it out. Same thing with the racking arm. Just it provides more workable space for those technical elements that we need to actually access, process, condition the beer. Yeah,
they're even making. I really want one. I don't know when we're going to be able to afford one, but they make foeders now with a stainless steel conical bottom. So basically, it's a wood foeder on top of a stainless steel conical. Basically, it looks just like a regular fermenter. They call it a fruiting fermenter. A fruiting foeder. So you can fruit sour beer in there and still crash it down into that cone like a regular old beer and rack it real easily. So that's pretty cool. That's American Foeder Crafters is where we got these from. I think they're the only, if not one of the only, companies making foeders in America. Okay. They're often made overseas for wine, and getting your hands on those is A, expensive due to the shipping and everything, and B, they're coming over used oftentimes, and you don't know exactly what you're getting. So these come in new. They are made out of American oak, and we are moving beer through them because it is a more distinctive flavor than the French oak. It's got more, more flavor to it. So we're kind of trying to get some of that. It adds character to the beer, but eventually here we kind of want to get them to more neutral and just move our sour beer through there.
Yeah. Right. I mean, at the end of the day, what we're looking for is for the yeast character to be the prominent element that you're tasting and providing the complexity of layers there, and really not that wood. Right. If we want that wood character, we have other ways that we could introduce that. That's not really the point of the foeder. The foeder is supposed to kind of last the lifetime of the brewery with us, get inoculated with that yeast, and then help cultivate our house strain there to give us a very distinct kind of true anomaly character that you might find in any of our foeder aged beers. Right.
Is there any variation, or maybe what company did you say?
American Foeder Crafters.
American Foeder Crafters. Have they on, like, I don't know, when you were searching out which size and all that kind of stuff, is there any difference in like the oak they get from one part of America to another? Like, would a southern?
I want to say the answer is probably absolutely yes. Did I get to choose where my oak came from exactly? No, I did not. And maybe had I asked, maybe they would have had a conversation with me. But as far as I'm aware, they just source American oak and make them. I don't know where they get their oak from.
I'm curious. That's
a good question. And I'm sure that they,
for the right price, I'm sure you can ask for anything.
Oh yeah. I mean,
Right. Yeah. But I would say they were very accommodating when we first negotiated with them. They had more standard sizing. Everything's custom made for, when you order it, they just basically have a prototype and say, hey, if you need one, let's order it and make it happen. And as Tom indicated, we were looking for something with a little more headspace. They had a 10-barrel kind of standard build. We said, hey, can we, get a little headroom there so that we can do some of these, more experimental beers or things that we want to do in them. And again, they were like, yeah, no problem, same price, no issues there. Yeah. And then, we asked for an additional different things, saying, hey, can we get another port here? Can we do this? And again, they were very accommodating.
Yeah.
So
there is a lead time because I think a lot of people are trying to get their hands on these. I think it's like a 6-month lead time. So we were able to do it because we were still not open yet.
Right.
So we planned ahead for it. A lot of breweries that are looking to get their hands on a foeder quickly don't want to wait that long. So
again, we were just very intentional, and I think you were indicating earlier, Josh, that you come in and you're going to see our board with 12 beers on it, and maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 of those are going to be pretty unfamiliar to you. But again, that's intentional, right? So kind of True Anomaly. We look at the name there, and people always ask us, what does that mean? There's a scientific, NASA-related definition of that, but for us, it's kind of anomaly is something you find that's unexpected. The true anomaly there being, it's intentionally unexpected. So you come in and, we're intending for you to kind of push some boundaries, try something new with us.
Yeah.
And when we were, buying those foeders, a year before we were open, we said, hey, we wanted to start off and fill these things in and bring new things to the market that really push the boundaries and hopefully elevates to some level of sophistication in the beer drinker around Houston as well.
Well, it also speaks to, the beer that you're having out of those foeders, say now, is anomalous to the time it was there, and a year from now, the beer that comes out will be.
Yeah,
it's like a time capsule in your
Duck.
glass.
Michael, can I call you Duck?
Yeah.
We call him Duck. His name's Michael Duckworth. His name's Duck.
Whoa, that's a lot of information.
Sorry. Do you want me to get the address?
What about
cell phone number?
His social security number?
Everybody has my phone number.
No, Duck and I have had conversations about this, like trying to recreate these beers, right? Like, I could try, but that's not really the point, right? So there's always going to be, a variation in the beer depending on when it was brewed, what time of year it was brewed, what yeast strain in that foeder was more active this at this time versus another time. So yeah, it's that's the point though. The point in the foeder beers is not to be able to recreate the beer the same every time. Now, as opposed to like our small giant, like our Grisette, which is a stainless steel beer, that one I do want to be very consistent on, and that is one thing as a brewer that I'm really trying to focus on. So just depends on the style and what we're going for. But in that barrel room, trying to recreate a beer is not my priority. Right. So it's trying to let the flavors do what they're going to do.
I think the only caveat I would put on that is that I guess something I try to stress a lot is that at the end of the day, beer is a food product, right? And being a nano brewery, we brew literally a batch at a time. So we don't have the cycling where we're double batching, triple batching something and expecting it to be around every time you come in. When you come in, there's going to be, most people come in every few weeks. They're going to see a few different beers on the board. They're going to see some things that, they were hoping they were, or maybe not be anymore because, they came off or, they were consumed, which is great. But, we do a batch of small giant, contact light, whatever, or 16 sunrises for that matter, which we've done a couple of, right? And the one that we did this time had a little bit different. It's the same hops we used that prior, but they were 2019 crop versus the 2018 crop, right?
Yeah.
In this particular area. So, and that's going to have a different texture character to it. And when you're not doing triple, quadruple, whatever batches, you're not blending as much of that together, so you're getting more of the distinct characters from that yield of crop, right? So, you might find some slight variations in our beer from one to the other, although we try very hard to make it consistent, overall, that you're going to get that 95% kind of the same, but, some of the brightness, some of the character there might be wavering a little bit, and hopefully, you can appreciate that and say, oh, I actually like that. It's
even if
different but better, hopefully.
If you come here, like, depending on, I don't know, if you live close, you should be here weekly, daily.
Honestly, we have a lot of great patrons that come out and see us weekly, if not multiple times a week. That anytime we have a new beer come on, they're here that weekend, maybe a couple of times. We love those guys. They're really give us a lot of positive feedback, and are with us, day in and day out, honestly.
Well, it's one of those things where when you come back in, like, let's say if you're like me and you you don't live down here in Houston. You're out in the burbs or wherever, and you have the privilege of getting over here, I don't know, regularly, so every 6 months or however long it'll be. When you come back, you're not the same. So to expect, even if you had the exact same beer that was the exact same presentation and everything at the moment last time you were there, you're not the same. How much change has your biology gone through or all of that, right? So I don't know. To me, that's one of the things about beer that I love the most is that it's like a little, capture. It's just time, that time, whatever was going on the day you brewed it and everything that went into that between hops and the grain and whatever the yeast.
Well, it's just like your favorite restaurant, your favorite chef, whatever, right? You go back to that restaurant, that chef, you have that same meal. There's going to be some slight variations in it. There's going to be some slight differences. And just like you said, maybe it's you. Maybe it's your palate's changed, maybe whatever. So, yeah, that's the point is we're trying to bring a good product to the tap room here and hope people come back and keep drinking it.
Yeah.
Right. And our focus is the tap room, right? And I think I mentioned that previously when on our tour that we took, our tank fresh beer, if you will, we serve right off these tanks here so that we can provide the freshest beer to our taproom patrons to incentivize you to come to the tap room and share it with us, right? And because a lot of the styles that we do are maybe a little more unfamiliar to the general use population, coming in and, being able to describe those, the flavor profiles, helps tremendously in just understanding, our offerings and getting more familiar with them before, you make a decision on whether you like it or not. And, or having it just up on a board with, 50 other beers without any kind of explanation or, detail or, understanding.
Yeah, I get, do y'all do flights? People love to do flights.
Yeah, so we have a variation of that. So we offer full pours and short pours. Our short pours are $3-4. So basically, you build your own flight for $10. You can have 3-4 beers of 7-8 ounce pours that figure out what you want. So yeah, we kind of do build your own flight thing.
Yeah, I get it. I get why people like to do them, but to me, there's something about pick a beer, sit down, have one, have two. Maybe have a third.
Sure.
And just let it, because there's only so much you can get from a flight.
As no absolute offense to people who drink flights. I've drank many flights in my age, but as in my day, as a brewer, as the one who's now brewing this beer, which is new to me, right? Like we were home brewers for years, and now I'm brewing professionally. I encourage you to drink a whole beer as well because it is an experience. It's going to taste a little different when you first start that glass. It's going to taste a little different at the end. Yeah. We were at JBF walking around. It was our first year. We'd never been, and it was a ton of fun. Great place. Definitely recommend going if you haven't been. But one of the things you have to get used to is you're drinking beer 1 ounce at a time.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, I can't really taste it, or if I can taste it, I'm like, damn, I really like that one. I want, can I have 6 ounces of it? No, you can't.
Yeah.
I can stand in line 6 times in a row, and then I just look like that lush that's just drinking whatever over and over again. So it's just
you can find a short line to just make friends. And
yeah, no, it's like I said, it's a food product. It's like a chef putting a plate of food in front of you. It's something that I have had to get used to, is seeing people in here drinking the beer that I made. It's different, and I do encourage people to drink that full glass and get that full experience.
Yeah, and be honest with yourself where you are when you come in. So if you were just eating, you had lunch and you had 3 helpings of tortilla chips before you came in here, and your tongue is completely numb, well, maybe it's not going to be the same.
Right.
So just be honest.
Yeah.
Have
a water with you and clean that palate out a little bit.
Yeah. And all that being said, we've had almost universal positive feedback. Everybody's everybody's been real on board, giving us from day one in our soft opening before we had our grand opening. We obviously were open and inviting a lot of criticism and feedback, and we've continued to have that kind of openness so people can give us just on. I'm here every day.
Yeah.
And I, engage with everybody who comes in pretty much. And, again, try to build a little bit of a personal relationship here so you know what's going on, help guide you through the menu. And I ask a lot of, hey, how'd you find us? What do you think of the beer? Any feedback I can, that you got for us on what's going on? And try to incorporate that, where we can.
Now, as far as when you're open, is it 7 days a week? Did I see that correctly?
Yeah, 7 days a week. We open
4
o'clock Monday through Thursday till about 10. Friday, Saturday, Sunday we're open a little longer. Friday, Saturday evenings till 11 p.m. A little earlier on the weekends just to accommodate everybody. And then I think 8 p.m. close Sunday just to, get everybody out and back to their families and everything else. A little time.
They called. They said they miss you.
Yeah. Maybe that was just for me. Saying, all right, I gotta go now.
This seems like the perfect spot, like to let traffic do its thing.
Yeah, it is a good spot to stop in for when there's traffic, or with the Astros traffic. If you're going to a game, we're not even half a mile, maybe just 0.4 miles or something like that from the stadium. So this is a good spot to get some cheap parking.
Yeah.
Have a beer or two at not ballpark prices, and then walk to the game.
Yeah, even closer. We got Toyota, and now that the Rockets started up, we've seen fans coming in kind of before games for that, after games. So again, just kind of being in the sports entertainment district here, Dynamo just a few blocks down, and the George R. Brown, as you indicated, kind of right behind us. We have a lot of foot traffic, or kind of foot score, if you will. Is pretty high, and a lot of the construction along with ourselves has come up in the past year or so, 2 years. Honestly, they finished the roads not even 6 months ago, right when we were having our grand opening. They finally finished all the road construction that was in the area, so now it's some of the best roads in Houston.
For the next year until they start on it again. It's like, we're done. We got to go back to the other end. Let's start.
So, but because of that, it's a really nice area for that a lot of Houstonians haven't experienced, right? Or certainly in a long time, if ever. Because prior to us being here in a number of these other places that are around now, it was pretty much a warehouse district that was vacant for the most part.
Yeah, it's constantly changing. Like the areas of town, like what's going on, and y'all are a big part of this area now. Is go there. You need to be there.
Yeah, and we encourage you to do so. It's a great area. You can spend a whole day out here. We're one of the few breweries. Obviously, our neighbors over here, Eighth Wonder as well, they're long in the tooth. They had the vision before we did of jumping in this space. But
how long have they been open now?
I think 6+ years.
6 years.
I want to say, because I remember them having
super old.
Well, basically, they were here. They were here in this part of town before a lot of this stuff popped up.
Yes.
We got Rodeo Goat across the street. We got Indianola. We got pizza places. We got Truck Yard. Eighth Wonder was here well before all that, so they were insightful in where they chose to start up. But yeah, this area has really grown a lot.
Yeah, right. But it's funny how the brewery age it's not just a year as a year. I don't know. The more
like dog ears, like
something like that.
Yeah, we're talking about Eighth Wonder being an old man. They're 6 years old.
Yeah, well, they're not really that old.
But
but I mean, for Houston, they are. Right.
Sure.
So I mean, you're gonna look at the landscape of Houston, and out of breweries that were open, 6-7 years ago, they were probably one of 10.
Yeah. Well, we were a little behind. Houston was a little behind as far as the brewery boom, mainly due to the laws changing and stuff like that. But yeah, we're catching up quickly now. So yeah. Yeah,
Houston is unique in how it's one of those things when you drive into town from another part of town, you realize how big Houston is, how spread out, and now we've got these pockets. Like you go south of town, you're at Clear Lake. Not that just last week.
Yeah, last week. We'll be back there this week
at Nobi.
That's right. Yeah, we'll be doing another tap tug over at Nobi Public House, right off of Nassau Road 1. It's kind of the heart of the Space Center area there, where many of our friends and including us went for years, almost weekly.
Yeah, that area around there is there's 3-4 breweries. I mean, or maybe, I don't know, within just a small drive in that area, especially if you're north of town. That's a whole that's worth a day's visit.
Oh yeah.
This area now, you and Eighth Wonder and Sigma's close, and
Sigma's not but a 15-minute walk,
and,
right?
And
get on a bike, you do it in half the time.
Yeah, and y'all are you're all doing different things. So it's it's not.
It's been great. We've been finding that kind of diversity in flavor profiles and different beers that, again, helps bring the average consumer up so that you can go to Eighth Wonder and get their full array of what I would call everyday drinking beers. You're going to have more your traditional ambers, browns. They have, some mainstays that they've had forever and ever that you can become familiar with or enjoy like you have so many other times. Walk a block over and like I said, try a whole new slate of beers that you probably didn't even know existed, and then kind of make your way to Sigma. And, they've got a lot of big, rich, dark beers and trying a bunch of fun stuff, too, that, again, complements, I think, all of us together to have a whole day trip and maybe drop into one of these eateries along the way, and, spend a whole afternoon.
Yeah, you don't have to rush. That's the thing. It's come in and experience. I mean, you could spend all day here. When you look at your tap wall. It's like, okay, you got.
There's pizza right across the street too if you need some food.
Yeah.
'Cause you're probably gonna need some food if you're here all day.
Yeah, it's time to hitch up your big boy or big girl.
Or we do
pants.
often have food trucks on the weekends. Too, so there you go.
But you got work to do if you're serious about this beer thing. We got work to do. But it's it's worth take the time and dig in. Don't just come in for the Instagram post. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. That's
Concur.
what it is. Yeah,
Concur.
enjoy it. Enjoy the experience.
I mean, Instagram's fine, I guess.
Yeah,
it's fine.
I mean, as long as you follow us.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly. Oh, you want to hear a funny Instagram story? This is how awesome I am on Instagram. On Liquid Lunch is our live show on Thursdays that we do. We stream live, so you can join us Thursday, and then go to Nobi for.
Hey, perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, it's a perfect one too. We'll have a tap takeover. I don't know what beers we're gonna have there right now, but it's gonna be good. 8+ beers that will give you a good tasting of our catalog if you haven't been able to come hang out with us downtown.
And if it's after the fact, you can go back and watch that show and just pretend like it was live. Or if you're there, you can watch the show from earlier that day and not be social at all. But anyway, that's weird. But we're at, I think for our Instagram, we have humble social media numbers. But I think we're about to hit 1,000 for that one. Right. And I was like, we're 2 away. I'll just jump on and do a live stream real quick. And we'll get 2 people to like us. So I jumped on. One, I went in the backyard. I didn't tell my wife. I closed the door. She was helping one of my daughters do homework at the table. And she had the door open because we had the fire going, and it was, in Houston, if you have a fire going, your house gets hot, so you open the door, right. So you can keep the fire on, and just give
it that fall feel.
Yeah. So I'll keep the door.
It's like driving with the AC and the windows down, right? So, all the worlds.
Yeah. So I go in the backyard, I close the door because I'm like, all right, this is weird talking to your phone. And then the door one of my other daughters opens the door. It's like, why is the door closed? Like yelling at me, like, okay, stop. So that didn't work. So then she's like, go.
So how many did you lose? Did you gain the 2?
Hold on, I'm getting to that. So I went to, and she's like, you have a studio, go up there and do that. So I went into the studio, and I'm like, all right, here we go. So then I jumped on, and a couple of people jumped on. We talked about the beers we had or whatever, and I'm like, all right. If y'all can follow us, be great. And then I looked like an hour later, we lost one.
Yeah.
So it's like,
it always does surprise me. Like every once in a while, we'll lose a few too. And I'm like, what are people? I guess I don't know. They just decided they were gonna
or something.
Yeah,
I think that. I don't. Yeah. It's all rigged.
Yeah. I mean, I've never followed someone and gone back and be like, nah, not anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not interested.
I have.
You have? Okay.
Yeah. But usually just because I'm sick of their bullshit.
Clean the feed up a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I've done that on Twitter where it's like I follow somebody.
Take so many of,
and then 15 tweets later in a 10-minute period, I'm like, oh, this was a mistake.
Yeah. That's true.
I've done that before. It's like,
I'm sure somebody came in and was like, "Oh, this place is cool. Let's check it out." And then they were like, turns out I don't like beer that much." And all they keep on doing is sending me pictures of the beer and flowers and this other stuff.
I still like all the pictures of beer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like. I'll just like that. I like that.
Yeah. Well, you're probably gonna stick around. I like it. Thanks.
Yeah. I don't know what else you're supposed to do on Instagram other than pictures of beer. It's
Weirdly enough, a lot of our feed is beer pictures too.
Yeah.
I do. I constantly I was like, that's a picture of a beer, and we could put one similar to it up right now.
They all start. Yeah, it's better to come try them. Whatever. Yeah. I don't know. It's a good place, I guess, to get the word out. I guess, or to awkwardly talk at your phone and have people unfollow you. That's what I've learned.
Perfect. Yeah, we don't do any of the live feed stuff very often.
Well, we're still learning how to do the
not that
Instagram
good.
story. I'm not very good at it. You're better at it than I am.
Yeah.
Stories that stick around for like 24 hours.
That's kind of story of life, though.
Yeah.
A little better at most things.
Stories are funny. It's like,
ouch.
I don't know. It seems fleeting.
It is.
That's the point, though. I mean, that's like the just instant
Especially
feed,
when
right?
you just nail it. You're like, damn, that was the best little story post I ever done, and it's going to be gone in 24 hours.
Yeah.
I know that there's a way to like save it, I think.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
I don't know. Social media.
It doesn't matter.
It's
yesterday's news, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I
That
don't want yesterday's news.
an hour ago.
What's going on now?
We're not even talking about Fartgate anymore. That's past.
Oh, yeah.
Past gas.
You had me worried. I thought we were going to go deeper into the political scheme over there when you started off. I was like, man, have you been following?
Yeah, no, that's
a different podcast.
It's a different podcast.
That's one. I'm good.
I'm good, yeah.
I'm good.
Come have a beer instead.
Just talking about beer gets political enough.
Yeah.
You bring
After
up
10 p.m.
you bring up hazies in the wrong crowd.
Oh
my goodness, people get animated.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
We've had some good talks over here.
Less animation about sours.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they've been around forever, literally.
Yeah.
But if you bring here's one. You want to let's get real animated. Hard seltzers.
Oh yeah.
People have opinions.
Oh, I mean, as well they should.
See, he's like, I'm out.
No, he went back to go get 2. No. No,
We're doing this.
Yeah, we're doing it. No, I don't. I'm always hard pressed to say we'll never, or something, but I don't think that's in our wheelhouse. I think we've definitely seen an uptick in them, right? I think just if you're following any of the news, if you're a beer drinker, and especially if you're a beer producer, you're following some of those metrics. They were the highest grossing and increase of production this past year, like 400%. So I mean, it was crazy numbers, right? And certainly you're seeing a lot of breweries, a lot of mainstay breweries that I went and I think maybe Avery or somebody even had one, something like that. That you just wouldn't see as, I don't know, from a traditionalist perspective, and where we grew up, and kind of looked upwards at brands and kind of where they marketed themselves and where we saw them, and then branching out in that way. Is a little counterintuitive from our perspective, but we haven't been sitting at the table very long. So
Well, I respect. So okay, so most of them that I've tried like 2 before I tried. So I'll get to the story. A couple episodes ago, we were at Backfish, and Caleb has nailed it. Most of the ones not most, all the ones that I had before that had like that diet soda kind of artificial sugar kind of aftertaste thing going on. And I don't know what he did. Voodoo something. I don't know. But it's super clean. And he's like, that's kind of his approach. He's been, I'm going to try it just because, like, the first beer he ever brewed as a home brewer was a light lager. He's like, they said it's hard. That's why I'm doing it. And I don't know. He nailed it. He was able to figure it out. And so now he's like, oh, so these can't be full of flavor and clean and crisp and hard. He nailed it. It's like this lime, coconut mojito type tropical. You want to sit on the beach and sip this thing, and it's clean and crisp. I mean, you can only get it in their tap room, so
Yeah. So like I said, I don't know if we're ever going to say never. I know we've toyed around with it, or at least talked about in theory, like, hey, what would it take to make that happen? What is that like? I don't know shit about making a hard seltzer.
Right.
Not my forte. I don't know anything about making a carbonated water.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, that was the thing. They experimented a lot.
Yeah. So we actually talked about experimenting with, like, hey, can we make a carbonated water? Can we just surplant Topo Chico over here?
I love Topo Chico.
Yeah, and we're selling a shit ton of them. And we're like, this is just carbonated water, guys. Can we not be?
It comes from that place, wherever.
Special place.
There's a special, like, whatever that is, somewhere in Mexico. It's probably out back of a warehouse or something.
And it's Odenburg Coca-Cola.
Yeah. I
don't know if that's true.
You just ruined his day.
Don't ruin my fantasy. Listen, it's artisan. There's some village where they just come and get in clay pots. They get this water.
It must
Sounds better.
Something, and
then they sterilize it.
We'll go something.
So
skim off whatever that is on the top.
So we've talked about playing around with some different things, including carbonated water. We talked about maybe looking into like a sour seltzer. Which might be more in our house. Say, it's something different. Certainly not something you're going to find differently. Might be the marriage that we're looking for. Something that we, if we found it, it could be, tasty, refreshing, a little tart.
I would try it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I think most people would probably try and be like, oh shit, let's just hang on the patio and have these.
Yeah.
So, we're if anything, we're open to experimentation around here, right? So as kind of a nano brewery, brewing primarily for the tap room, having a lot of things to turn over. It's not going to hurt us probably as much doing a one-off 10-barrel batch or even half that, because it's water. So then I think
out there's a lot of it.
We're not committing 90 barrels of something. It's probably more in our wheelhouse than many other places, but something we're still investigating. We're certainly don't have any kind of production set up or any kind of goal outline on seeing if that would even be added to our repertoire at this point.
Yeah, it's a spirit that it's approached with, I think, on any style. Like if you wanted to do an American light lager, but with the spirit of a craft artisan local brewer,
Yeah, and we did that with our.
That's getting more and more popular. I mean, we did a Helles lager, and like you were saying, that's one of the harder styles to brew. And I was a little nervous about brewing it. It came out nice and clean, so that was a good experience and process for us, but there's more and more breweries that are focusing on lagers. There's the ABGB in Austin is almost exclusively lagers. So, yeah, it's getting more and more popular.
They've been well rewarded for it.
They've been well rewarded with many accolades. But yeah, I mean, Austin kind of is leading the way in some of that lager, craft lager drinking.
Right.
So,
but I also look at Austin. It's a different environment, different community. I mean, those are people that are walking, biking, commuting that probably want a 4%, beverage so they can have it in between their, jaunts.
Well, I think the beer drinker and just the drinker in general. I don't know, Duck. I don't know if you've already. I only stepped away for a minute, but they don't discriminate in their drinking habits. They can go out in one day, one session, whatever, and they can have a craft beer, they can have a wine, and they can have a craft cocktail. Right, all three in one day, and they don't discriminate. They don't even necessarily like one better than the other. I think that's kind of why we're seeing craft seltzers pop up. People are like, whatever, I'll try it. And if it's nice, I'll keep drinking it. So it's just one of those things. That's why we like to have a lot of variation here at the brewery, and kind of see what people are digging.
Now you have, if you include the Saison, I see you have a triple or tripel.
Great question.
Whatever floats your boat.
You can also spell it with 2 P's or 1.
Yeah.
I like the 1, which makes it seem to me more like a tripel.
Yeah. Or is it a double or a double? I've heard them all.
Single
or
is it a
quad or is it quade?
I think that one's pretty well determined.
Single or single?
Yeah, exactly.
Single.
So anyway, we'll go with tripel for now.
Okay, tripel.
Yeah.
So you have one. 16 sunrises.
Yes.
Okay, so somebody asked me this.
I've got it here in front of me, actually, if you want to
Still yours?
imbibe.
Yes, well, okay.
We can refill glasses, too, if you want.
We do have a pause button.
Okay.
So there's always that.
We just send you on a...
I can go.
Well, I want you... Well, you've got a Dubel as well.
We do.
As I'm looking up there. So this was... Somebody asked me the other day. What?
And the single.
And this...
We got the single, we got the double, we got the triple.
And there's a quad
and we have
the
quad coming here in the next couple weeks.
Is there a...
We got the Saison, we got the Grisette. We were true to the Belgian styles.
Seriously?
There.
Is there another... What other Belgian styles?
Oh, Belgian Pale, Belgian...
There's different
the
ones.
table. I'm pushing for the table beer, like a nice 2.9, 3%, just every day.
Gonna fly off the shelves. People are just gonna drink that.
It is the runner's beer.
Yeah.
It's becoming a thing.
We'll see.
My thought is that Belgian styles are due for another, like, I wouldn't call it, not that they ever went out of style, but people have been focused on other stuff.
Yeah.
And I feel like that people
Revival.
Yes.
I hope you're right.
Well, people are. I think it. Honestly, if
We're betting on it.
I think it's a wise move. I do see it because at the beginning of 2019, I said this would be the year of the craft Mexican lager, and in some ways, if by my judgment, I was absolutely right. Obviously, but
Sales numbers.
I have that. Is that?
No, they're doing great.
Yeah, but it's like large Mexican lager. Yeah, I mean, you do see more craft breweries doing one-offs of Mexican lagers, but certainly by scan data, you'd find that Mexican lagers are moving into the market in general in a big way.
Yes. Okay. So totally vindicated.
That's what I wanted to feed you there.
Appreciate it. But I'm just saying, when you look at, I don't know, I guessing trends is good luck, right? But it just seems like where we've been and where we're going, I feel like, Belgian beers, when I first got into craft beer, however long ago that was, a decade ago, I don't even remember. It was, those were the ones that you found, like Chimay and things like that, where you're like, oh, these are great.
Right.
Because we didn't have locals.
Sought after, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And people like held them in such high regard. Like these are, when you're sitting down to have a beer that you want, this is food pairing beers, and these are, they're big and I don't know, whatever. And we like, well, look at all these other like IPAs, and everybody went out all crazy looking at all the other stuff, like on Christmas morning, like, what else did we get?
Sure.
And so now it's time. I feel like, oh yeah, I had I had all this other stuff. Wait, Belgian, what is this?
Remember those? Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like we're.
Well, I think it's there's IPAs have been huge, and they will continue to be huge. I don't think they're going anywhere. That's why we enjoy them. I enjoy brewing them. We're going to have them on here. It's the craft beer scene has been so driven by IPAs and the new hop and what's the hot hop right now and what's that new flavor from hops for a long, long time.
Well, even hold on real quick on IPAs, because I want to stress this too, that people are constantly experimenting. People love IPAs, but there's still playing around. They're digging around with a lot of different stuff. So the hazies are popular. Brutes came and went super quick. Right. They're like, oh, everybody, and they're like, oh, no, I don't like it. I don't like
really
it.
Work. Yeah.
They moved away, right? And then the hazies came on, and if you remember the West Coast, where everybody was having the IBU challenge, it seemed like it was like, oh man, it's at 120 IBUs, and now everybody's kind of ratcheted back, and they've gone
call that the
way.
war on tooth enamel.
The war on tooth. There you go.
That's correct.
Yeah, and no, exactly. I agree, and that's what I was getting at. I think at some point, while I don't think IPAs are going anywhere, they're always going to be the number one seller in craft beer, and that's great. We're all going to enjoy our IPAs, but I think people are going to get some IPA fatigue over time, and I think some of the new stuff that I'm really most excited about as a brewer is really the new yeasts that are coming on, like this Lithuanian, the Kvik, all these different flavors that you can actually get from the yeast themselves, and that's kind of where the Belgian style is, right? It's Belgian style beer, is a yeast-driven flavored beer. It's got a lot of those phenolics from the yeast, so the esters from the yeast. So it's I can see it kind of trending back that way a little bit.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, and the population of craft drinkers, like it is like they're graduating from different levels. Like you can go back and say, oh yeah, like when I look at what my girls are doing in school, it's like, oh, I remember that. I remember doing that and what I was into, and when I was into that type of music or whatever, and I thought this was cool, and then I realized, oh, that's not cool. But it's like I feel like the biggest population of craft beer drinkers are kind of moving up into what I don't know. It's more Belgians are they're kind of a mature approach to beer. You can't. I mean, you could chug a Belgian, I suppose, like a.
Depends on the
double.
Belgian single. Yeah, sure. I mean, one thing I've noticed is I've gotten a little bit older and I'm around beer more and I drink it a little more often as I tend to drink lower ABV beers than I used to. Maybe that's just because I'm in the industry. But yeah, I mean, a lot of those hazies are 7-8%. And I'm like, man, I can't have more than half of one of these, and I'm ready to move on to the next thing.
I think interesting what I hear you both saying is that the maturity of the beer drinker that started 10 years ago has come up, and new beer drinkers are coming into the market too, right? I should say craft, right? So the craft beer drinker that when the rise of popularity of craft started coming, became more prominent. So then you had craft drinkers that were 10 years ago into these specific styles, have kind of grown with, but there's new entrants coming in too, right? So for those that have been maturing with craft, they are looking at various new styles, saying, all right, I've gone through these waves with these guys. What's the next thing? And for those that are coming in, they're interested in just the whole spectrum because they're more unfamiliar, but they are interested in craft.
Yeah, it's like high-waisted jeans. They're back.
Yeah,
Are they?
When you go,
Wax and wane.
if you go to a middle school choir concert and they all walk up on stage, high-waisted jeans.
Really?
Oh, interestingly enough, I heard something talking about middle school children.
Seems to be the theme.
Yeah, it seems to be the theme. I have a curious trend. I've heard that the new thing is to perm your hair, kind of grow it out, perm your hair, and then kind of cut it to look more like a Mahomes or a Steph Curry type style. Yeah, it's a very popular in the 7th, 8th grade boy
for men,
spectrum.
For boys.
Yeah, for boys.
Interesting.
Kind of grow out the hair and
perm. With I remember like in the early mid 86-ish.
Yeah.
I remember there were some dudes with perms.
Yeah, retro's back in, man.
Yeah. It's all that 80s stuff.
Josh was running around 6 years old being like, hey, where can I get this perm?
I distinctly remember that, like with my mom and my sisters getting perms, like that smell, that rotten egg smell. This is going to make my hair look fabulous.
Yeah.
You can hear it sizzle. Like, I don't think that doesn't
This
seem...
was the, that was the linchpin case for my cousin Vinny.
Really?
Right? Oh, yeah. Remember?
The
woman went and permed her hair and then claimed she took a shower afterwards. And everybody knows after you perm your hair, you can't take a shower for never. Right? Yeah. Whatever it is. I don't know. Yeah. And that's how my cousin Vinny ended up getting an Oscar for...
You got an Oscar?
What's her?
Jump.
Actress lead.
I see. I can see her face.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm not going to be any help on this one.
There's an M. Yeah, meow.
No, you're talking about.
No.
It'll come.
Move on. Yeah, it'll come.
We could look it up on the phone, but don't.
No.
I was trying to tell a coworker who's sorry. They're still in their 20s. Poor soul.
Marissa Tomei.
Yes. Who was the other girl?
I don't know. We just lost some.
What? Oh, did this go out?
Nah, you're good.
Oh.
Who's the other woman? Who?
In My Cousin Vinny.
There was another one?
I thought so.
I don't know.
Wasn't there another?
Know.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
The judge,
I bet you it holds up. Let's go watch.
I'm just like, yeah. What was I saying? I don't remember now.
About phones. Someone in their 20s.
Oh yeah, like
Somebody in their 20s.
oh yeah, poor soul, some poor whatever generation that is, Z or Q. I don't even know what they are. But you have a conversation and you're just like, oh, I don't know something. Let me look it up on my phone.
Right. Yeah.
Were you looking at My Cousin Benny?
Yeah.
See, I don't even have my phone by me.
Yeah, that's smart.
It's not even on me.
No, that's good.
It's
It used to be conversations where you would talk and then you're like, you remember whoever in that thing? Like, no. And then you all just like move on.
Right.
And then maybe somebody else would come in or it would, come to somebody and be like, oh, is that? And then you'd come back to that part of that conversation and talk about the part that you
I
don't
used,
remember.
instant.
I used to make $5 bets with everybody about all the shit I knew.
Really?
Because you couldn't check it.
Oh, yeah.
And then eventually maybe you would, but who knew? Did
they pay out? And they'd already paid out?
I don't remember everybody giving me $5.
No.
Even if I was right, nobody cares.
I'll bet you all the money in the world that.
Yeah. But you couldn't check, right?
Right.
So you're like, I'm very confident in my opinion when nobody else can find it. Right?
Confidence was everything.
Yeah.
And now it's just your phone.
Right.
So.
Some people still have the level of confidence without worrying about the facts. I love it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's bold these days. It's even bolder.
Right.
Like.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Alternate facts. I like it. Yeah.
Because it
Because
can
I
easily
said
be.
so.
Yeah, but then just in the face of all of that, they're just like, no, that's it, whatever. And then they're like, you were wrong.
Fake.
Yeah. Yes. Just call it fake. And it's like, I don't even know how to respond.
Sir,
to
you
that.
sound uninformed.
Yeah. All right, whatever. Anyway, weird times.
Yeah.
But the beer's great.
Thanks.
That'll be one of those things where we're like, the beer was what? Like, hey, Grandpa, what were
that time?
What were the 2020s like? Oh, well, people were dumb.
Yeah.
But the beer was good.
But the beer was awesome.
Right. Craft. Any beverage you'd like, just stick the word craft in front of it, and you got some of the better quality products coming your way.
I mean, when you really think about it, though, I mean, how good is it to be a beer lover now?
Oh yeah, certainly. I mean,
Best time in history.
Yeah. When we were starting brewing, we had to search out throughout the city, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, Houston's pretty sprawl. So you were going to recesses and corners trying to find a beer bar that had something either local or across state lines that was interesting, or something that represented some styles that maybe weren't light lagers.
Yeah, exactly.
No, I agree. Yeah, I think obviously the pre-prohibition stuff, you had a lot more breweries around, but I think the number of different styles that are being brewed now and different flavors and experimentation, like we've been talking about. Yeah, I think you'd find a tough time.
It's
finding a better period for beer. Yeah,
it's best now, I think. Maybe the reliance on like the social side of like social media stuff might be where we're lacking in whatever, but as far as the ability to have great beer and new beers and different beers and
Access is 1,000%, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you can even during the prohibition, you would there were 3,000 breweries, but you still only went to the 5 that you get fresh beer from because they couldn't train it, crate it, whatever, and it'd still be the beer that they intended it to be. So the reason there were so many of them, because they were more of us, like this model. Nano breweries just serving the community, and if you're within a 5-mile radius, come check us out. And if you're not, they're probably checking out the other brewery that's within a little bit closer.
Yes.
So
and that's you drank it there, so there's the social part of it. You could take a growler home then. That's where the term growler came from, a bucket with a lid on it. And because it was seeping, it growled. Yeah. But you guys don't have buckets with lids. You have
we don't.
No, we got a lot of bucket with lids. What do you do? You want to take some?
Yeah, we do. We've never sold beer in them.
I think it came with chemicals to begin with, but I mean, we've rinsed them. So
we have the aluminum kind, Crowlers.
Yes.
Yeah, we've got Crowlers.
Oh, Crowlers.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it when you say that.
We
It
have a
came
Crowler
into focus.
machine. That's right.
Cool.
Yeah, so you can take any of our beers home with you.
Is it the 32 ounce?
We actually have 750 ml Crowlers because we like to be a little different.
That's like Belgian. Right?
We thought the size was nice. I mean, I know the 32 ounces are the more common one, but 750 ml is 25.9 ounces.
Okay.
24 point. What? Anyway, it's a size that you can drink on your own if you want.
Yeah.
And if you want to share it, you can still share it. So that's the idea.
Okay, fine.
Drinking 32 ounces of beer on your own, absolutely no big deal on a Saturday afternoon. But if you're, Wednesday night, maybe not. So.
Hey, if you want more, get 2. It's okay with us. Just go for it.
Right.
They're priced appropriately. We're not gonna, break the bank on it. Just, it's just really more convenient, so you can take it away. And take it home.
Crowlers are they're great because I mean, I don't know. What is the shelf life of a Crowler?
Debatable, right? I mean, it all depends on that dissolved oxygen level and
it's-
how much you have in there.
It's how well it's filled. It's how well the can is evacuated with CO2. And I mean, it's definitely good for at least a week. If it's done well, 2-3 weeks, you should have no problem.
Yeah, and I mean, we anecdotally hear from people all the time that it's months old.
Yeah.
And they're drinking it fresh and having a good time with it.
I'm having a rethink on all my beer aging. Like I've got this, I had a fridge full of beers I was
Dedicated beer fridge.
Too.
Yes.
I still do.
And then it conked out on me. And so I was like, what do I do with all this? So I put them in my Keyser, which is still under construction, but I have the override so I can
still
keep it
cold.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I can keep them there. But I'm like, a lot of them were these big, heavy beers. I'm like, I'm like, I can't even get to all this. And if I was planning on like this vertical tasting of a certain beer, and I'm like,
you need to find like 8 other dudes to come taste it with you.
I was going to say, I was like, I mean, I like people, but that's effort.
I've started bringing like a bottle or two of mine, just a random like shindigs or whatever. Like I don't even like look for an awesome like perfect beer drinking moment like anymore. I just bring them.
Yeah,
because there's so many to get through. I mean, I'm the same way. I was hoarding them for a long, long time, and we get some really good beer. People bringing it in here just to say thanks and whatnot, which is awesome.
So
but
it's nice to have one of ours from back in the day or something that we've collected and we keep back here in the cold box. And when we have those moments, be able to say, oh, here you go. This is the opportunity.
Yeah.
Right. But again, everybody's kind of coming here, so it's nice to say, oh, look, all the beer drinkers showed up.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
now that they'll appreciate one of these nice rare bottles I have.
Yeah, I know.
So will
like
I.
8 people, and they're like, I don't really drink beer. Okay, well, you are tonight. And it just doesn't be me.
And you're gonna have the 2012 to 2018 Pumpkinator with me.
Yes. It's basically yes.
Yeah.
Hope you like pumpkin and spices, and hope you're cool if your tongue is falls off. It's good. That's basically what's going to happen at the end of all of this.
Or doing the like we've been talking about sours. Obviously, we love sours here, but if you get together and do a sour bottle share, by the end of the night, your stomach might be talking at
some
you a little
Tums.
bit. Yeah,
It's
some
be
Tums.
all right.
Yeah, you gotta think that through. It's like, what are we doing this for? And I never asked that question. I was just like, no, you need to always have like some barley wines put back, and you always have to have some imperial stouts, and I'll get some quads too. A Tripel, 4 or 5. Yeah, it's like I need all these in my fridge. Look at that, they look great, and it's like, oh, I probably should drink these.
Right.
And now it's like, what am I gonna do? So I've been drinking them.
Yeah, I've got a nice collection of the brewery beers because
Yeah.
every one of those are like 12+% with some rich flavor compounds of caramel, something going on in there. Like, woof, these are desserts themselves, and I don't feel like dessert every night after I already had dessert.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when it becomes a chore, like when you have to really gird your loins to drink a beer. That's not your miss.
Right. And we're back to light lagers.
Yes. Yes. I don't know.
It really helps with the heartburn. My stomach's
beer.
great. It's
Just
good.
a regular old
So we're just getting
beer
old.
beer.
That's what we're hearing.
Yeah.
So the reason that the change it.
Pass that
tastes,
seltzer.
Yeah. Well, nice and easy. Go ahead. No, it wasn't me.
Yeah.
That's right.
But
Full circle.
but the microphone picked it. It was there though.
Yeah, well.
Wait, did you smell it?
Not if I would have been having those hard seltzers.
No.
Blame it on these big beers.
Topo Chico burps are the best burps. I'm just gonna say it right there. They're
Nice
clean.
and minerally clean.
Yeah. Wow.
But
yeah.
vocal. A lot of heft.
Oh yeah, it is a highly carbonated. It is tough to emulate the carb level on a Topo Chico.
Yeah.
Or even like I'll open up some other sparkling water. I'm like, not carbonated enough. Not even close.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We just released our dark matter double. And I had just across the street, I was trying a Chimay Red, which is Chimay's double. Mm-hmm. Honestly, the first thing I came back, I said, "Wow, this is like 3.0 volume or something." Because it was just bubbling out of my mouth. They couldn't hardly keep it in there every sip, at least at the beginning, right? I was like, then we came back over here, tried ours, like we're woefully under carbonated. It's not true. It's just not that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Well,
maybe next time.
theirs is bottle conditioned, so they can get that real
Right.
high carb. Yeah.
Yeah. Who had that bottle?
If I carved
Right.
our double to 3.0 volumes here, our bartenders would probably all quit because they wouldn't be able to pour the beer. So.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
You
It's a
mentioned
slow pour. It's a slow
Yeah,
pour.
slow pour, yeah.
you have to do it through
Zwickle.
something.
Oh
or
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Tubed all the way around.
Yeah. Tube it all
Yeah,
around the building.
Those are expensive.
Are they?
Yeah,
For being a coil of stainless, they're like $300-$400, something like that.
Just go to PetSmart and get one of those hamster deals.
Yeah. There's a tube that they run through.
Food grade.
Yeah.
That's good.
Just little duct tape.
Yeah.
Good to go.
He's got a tri-clamp fitting for one of these.
Tri-clamp hamster path. You mentioned you had like a noon thing.
Well, it's come and gone now. I mean, we've
did you miss
moved
it?
on. Yeah. It's coming now. They do it again at 4:30.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like Oprah? What comes on at noon?
No, I was gonna do some exercising.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
All the beer. You know,
Yeah.
It helps.
Make room for that.
Yeah.
Beer later. Yeah.
Okay. Well, okay. Let me ask y'all this. Y'all both look fit. Is it?
You can't see, but that's what it looks like.
Well, I mean, okay. So I hear the stories of brewery owners go to the doctor and the doctor's like, oh my gosh, how much beer do you drink a day? And typically, you're just too busy you don't pour back beers all day unless some yokel comes with his recording equipment, forces you to.
True story.
I mean, whenever I get an excuse to drink before noon, I'll take it. It's fine.
Yeah.
Well, it's afternoon now.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
I think
Time for another beer time.
I think late morning drinking is the best drinking.
Yeah.
What do you consider late morning?
I've gone from...
We started at like 10 or 9.
Isn't that late?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, the morning starts at midnight.
That's... Yeah, I guess you're...
Productive people wake up at 5, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Well, I'm just saying, if we're going to be accurate, and people from NASA, I would think, are wanting accuracy.
No,
Yeah.
what I've to answer your question, I've noticed
Fair
that I drink a little bit of beer on more days of the week, but I drink less of it. Maybe not overall, but it's spread over a larger number of days.
Yeah.
That's what I've found.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always I've got to taste beer to make sure that it's right and carbonated and all this stuff. And we get people coming in that want to network, and we need to get our name out there, so we do it. But yeah, it's been good so far.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful.
Not to be contradictory to what Tom said earlier, but I drink a lot of shorts.
Yeah.
So I do drink a lot, like because
Half
again,
course.
I want a taste of something, see how it's doing on the wall. There's the ones that are more generally anything we release in the past week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I'm more prone to try because it's kind of our new fresh release. I want to get a good flavor for it. But some of our beers are here 6, 7, 8 weeks, and those are nice go backs, and just you feel like what you're in the mood for, and you got a dozen plus beers on the board. It gives you a nice selection to go try. But I do find myself drinking kind of half pours more often, so that I can regulate that a little better.
The bigger issue that I had when we first moved, I mean, we're not even 7-8 months open, but we were brewing in last February, so coming up on a year here, and I wasn't bringing my lunch or anything, so I'm here, I'm busy, I got 15 minutes to go grab some food, and there's pizza across the street, there's burgers over there, so it was a lot of real crappy food for a while. So now I bring my lunch. It's delicious
crappy
food. Sorry,
Yeah.
Go eat it, but you can't have it every day for lunch.
True.
So anyway, now I bring my lunch.
I find that
Not
has
every day, but
a bigger impact on me. Like tiredness and things like whatever I eat, more so than beer. Because sometimes if I'm doing a podcast, I'll just skip a meal and say I've had enough calories.
right.
And then alcohol gives you energy, sort of, maybe.
Yeah.
At least now.
Eventually you're gonna crash, but for the time being,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, and if honestly, truth be told, Tom goes for a run every damn day. I try to go work out most days. I mean, we were pretty conscientious about not being loafs and trying to keep able-bodied to do everything we need to do around here.
And I'm on my feet for most of the day, which helps.
And how much do those bags of grain weigh?
55 pounds.
It's like,
It's a pound, 55-pound grain.
it's heavy.
That's. It's like doing kettlebell swings or something.
Yeah,
Just swinging that stuff.
I don't even have to go to the CrossFit gym. I got CrossFit gym right here in the back. It's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah. So the life of a. I don't know where I was going with that, but I find it interesting that there are a lot of brewers that are very fit. It's not what you would. It's a, high energy, high output profession.
Yeah.
No matter,
But honestly, you're around. I mean, just to get serious for a little bit, like we're around chemicals, we're around hot water. Like you can get hurt, and I know brewers who have gotten hurt, and so you're not drinking while you're brewing. You're not drinking while you're using chemicals and stuff like that. So it's you're burning a lot of calories back there. Being careful and diligent. I mean, you saw when you got here this morning, we were doing a transfer. That's one of the more stressful times for me because, we go through the whole process of brewing the beer on brew day, fermenting the beer at the right temperatures, tasting it, taking
Dry
gravity
hopping.
readings, dry hopping, all this stuff, and you got this delicious beer in your fermenter. You're like, damn, that's good. I want to get that on tap. You got to move it from your fermenter to your bright tank. You could screw the whole thing up right there.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not careful, it could taste great in the fermenter and crappy in the bright tank if you do something wrong. So there's always just the stressful moments like that, and you just got to be careful. Make sure you don't mess up 10 barrels of beer.
And you try not to be lit when you're doing that.
Yeah, you
All right.
prefer not to be. Yeah, that'd be advisable.
Right? It might take some of the anxiety away, though. Seems like you're pretty stressed out.
It would, except then when the beer doesn't taste good, you're like, damn, what happened? I don't even-
Yeah, I'll be upset then, but I'm worried about your health right now.
There you go.
Yeah.
So you have the beer when you're done with that. That's my, pat on the back at the end of the day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and here we are.
And here we are.
At the end of the day.
That's why Eric's back there doing the chemicals right now. my assistant Eric. So.
Yeah, I saw him running around. He was on fire or something. It's fine now, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any open flames back there? It's not the steam jacket.
We've got a boiler back there. It's not an open flame, but it's a dangerous piece of equipment. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you
Natural gas.
in a pinch, you could produce a large flame.
If you needed a
If you
flame, I'm
needed
sure
it.
we could find a way. Yeah.
There's a will.
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, we'll wrap with some thoughts on you're almost to a year. I mean, it's this last 6 or 7 weeks of the year will go by super fast with holidays and all that kind of stuff. One, we're going to talk about this on Liquid Lunch, but this will be one of those episodes where people will listen to this years and years into the future.
Repetitively.
Yeah, well, yeah, a loop,
On
basically.
repeat. Yeah. It's going to be background for Fallout.
Yeah.
Whatever.
It was the podcast that Dr. Strange was listening to, and he kept talking to whatever that guy was with the guy. Anyway,
Yeah.
the time stuff. Anyway, nerdy stuff. We just got Disney Plus. Beer, best style of beer for Thanksgiving dinner.
Thanksgiving.
It is such a big variety of dishes and different approaches and
With dinner or after dinner?
with.
Okay, with.
Well, both. Let's do both. With. What do you
So
think?
after dinner, I'm gonna go there first.
Like with dessert, you mean?
But yeah, like with pumpkin pie.
With the
or like-
pies.
yeah, with the pies. Is
Post-nap.
is a real good like Christmas ale or pumpkinator or something like that because you're coming up on Christmas, right?
Yes.
Now it's Christmas season.
Yes.
I know everyone thinks it's Christmas season now, but everyone's forgetting about Thanksgiving.
It's a late
right?
Thanksgiving this year.
Right.
But at
So-
dessert, that's boom, Christmas.
Boom, Christmas.
Fast
Go
food.
ahead and start cracking those Christmas beers, right? Like a good
Right.
dark kind of desserty beer with that pumpkin. Anyway, with dinner, you're eating the stuffing. You got the dark meat turkey because white meat's ugh.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I
Um,
totally agree. Team Dark Meat.
All right.
Gravy. I think
Hashtag
you
dark
need to
meat.
go a little later. I'm thinking even like a dry hopped triple, like a 16 Sunrises, or even an IPA.
I thought you would have said Saison, honestly.
or Saison. Yeah,
thought for
Saison's
sure.
typically a summer drink, but like a
It's
a
got a
bigger
nice
Saison.
spice phenolic. I could see that,
what we
pairing
haven't-
well with
What we
a
haven't
number
done,
of
which I would
sides.
like to do, is like a dark Saison. I haven't done that yet, so that'll be coming soon. But I go with something light colored for dinner, just to keep the balance, the heavy stuff, and then I go real heavy for dessert.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably agree. I would have, gone more towards the grisette or the again. Just I mean, it's even lighter, right? But I like that Belgian spice character, right? And I think it would pair well with the turkey itself.
Thanksgiving's one of those days where I go.
Or
I go-
whatever.
I go
Those
higher.
yams, man. Those yams. Those would
I
be
go higher
great with
ABV
a
on
nice little
Thanksgiving.
spice there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well,
that's
I mean,
true.
yeah. And for the dessert, I would have gone with the Imperial Stout. We got the
Sure.
coming out. It's densified propellant. Right. That's what we named our next one coming out. That's 11+%. That's just that's a pie in itself. You just,
Yeah.
And eating and drinking,
Yeah.
all the goodness.
Yeah. Then the napping. And then get up and do it again.
Right. And I think it lends itself to a quality nap.
Yeah,
Mhm.
quality after dinner nap.
Right. And then you get to make that turkey sandwich the next day.
Mm.
And then I'll go for the IPA, I think.
Sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't have it hazy, though. That's
Yeah,
off
no.
the table.
I think.
No,
Yeah.
hazy's gonna fill you up too much. No.
Yeah. I did. Yeah. You need crisp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crisp.
Bite.
Yeah. Basically, anything with lactose in it, I'd probably stray away from.
Yeah. Yeah. I
You
think
get-
I agree. But it's such an interesting meal because you got roast meat and then you got sweet with like sweet potatoes or yams and cranberry sauce, but you also have the dressing or stuffing, whatever you like to call it, and I don't know what other casseroles? Squash casserole or green bean casserole?
Green bean.
Yeah, no, we're Italian, so we have stuffed shells and lasagna and fried chicken.
Where are y'all?
Fried chicken, huh?
I don't know. It's a tradition.
Where are y'all at? Where do y'all do Thanksgiving at?
The Dallas-Fort Worth area. So if you know where Bedford, Texas is.
Bedford Falls.
H-E-B?
I know where Bedford Falls.
Bedford
Hurst,
Falls,
Euless,
somewhere.
Bedford.
Bedford Falls is Wonderful Life.
Wonderful Life, yeah.
Mhm.
Huh?
So close. It's Christmas season.
Yeah.
It's a real place.
Yeah.
I would run down that street.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, you old building and loan. Anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know.
If you felt it. Just if you felt like it.
Yeah.
The clean city, or the one where he's running down and it's all like strip clubs and stuff.
No, at the end where he has Zuzu's pedals
Okay,
again
got it.
after
All
when
right,
his
so
lip,
after.
my lips bleeding,
Yeah,
Ernie, my
yeah.
lips bleeding, or whatever. Was it Bert? No, Bert. Bert was the cop. Ernie was the. Which one is the
I don't
taxi
remember.
driver?
We watch it every year, but I
Yeah,
don't
maybe we do a
remember.
viewing party here, just on my phone while we all just sit here after the
Okay.
show.
Yeah, no,
By
yeah,
that time
yeah,
of the
yeah.
movie, I'm like 3 eggnogs in.
That's right. So that's your answer, eggnog.
Well, yeah, but that's
what
when you're watching
drinking.
Christmas movies.
He just
yeah.
spikes it with a little light lager. Brought to you by Light Lager.
Eggnog light.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good conversation. Good. All things to think about. Fried chicken.
Mm-hmm. It's delicious.
Okay.
Not even
yeah.
turkey. You couldn't just go fried turkey?
We've never done a fried turkey.
Wow, it just seems odd that you wouldn't have turkey on Thanksgiving.
I'm not in charge of this, honestly.
Not even like.
I don't
some-
know if that's is that anti-American? I don't know how that works because
What do
you're
you mean?
Italian.
I mean, it is Dallas.
I don't know, man. I don't know.
do
This
funny
is how
things
it
there.
works.
Okay.
You got a matriarch. She makes the decisions.
Okay.
She does all the cooking. So honestly, you're just around. I did a lot of chopping growing up, and that
Yeah.
was my job.
Okay.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah, battering.
Thanks
I
for
could
the
use some
invite, by the
battering.
way. Appreciate it.
You're not invited.
All right. Well, we'll wrap.
We are
it.
doing a Friendsgiving.
Yeah.
I'll give you that one.
Tuesday before.
Yeah, so next
For-
Tuesday,
Yeah.
right here,
Uh-huh.
you bring the sides, and we'll bring the meats. Friendsgiving.
Are you bringing a bunch of fried chicken? What are you bringing?
See, that's a good question because how's that we might get some social media slap back from that.
I didn't make any commitments about that. I
That
heard
same-
you say that. I heard you say
that
that.
same
I
per-
certainly made no commitments.
That same
about some
person
I
that
fried
went
follow
to
us,
an
I'll
anomaly
follow
for
you.
Friendsgiving and they had fried chicken.
Right.
I mean, I'd eat it.
And it was the best thing I ever had.
As long as it's dark meat, right?
Right, yeah.
as long
Thighs
as
and
it's
legs.
stuck- I suppose
And then
you're right.
everybody can give us the feedback on what paired best.
Ah, there you go. Full
Done
circle.
and done.
Perfect.
Hashtag Friendsgiving.
There you go.
Beers.
Yeah, beers. Hashtag beers. All right. Well, we'll wrap there. And guys, thank y'all.
Thank you.
So
Nada.
much.
I really appreciate it. It's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate having you.
We'll have to do it again.
I think we got time for another beer here. I mean, not for everybody else, but just for us.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll chug one. I'm going to have to. Well, I'll make time.
Yeah, yeah. It'll be all right.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for listening to the podcast. True Anomaly, open 7 days a week, right down here in the heart of Houston, in the shadow of all your favorite things. Actually, no, all your formerly favorite things are now in the shadow of your favorite thing, which is True Anomaly Brewing.
Well said.
Boom.
Cheers.
Yeah. So come and try. Listen. The Summer Triangle was very good. I think.
It's a funky one.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, it's
I
got
like
that
it.
sweet
It-
pineapple.
It's a good pre-podcast beer. So
There
if
you
you're going to
go.
come do a podcast, highly recommend. But Amelia, that one, I didn't want to finish it because it was, I wanted
More.
it to
You wanted
last.
it to last.
Yeah.
Perfect.
So it's
That's great.
good.
Good to hear.
So
Yeah, thank you.
I'm glad you guys are doing that. That's what we as a Houston area craft beer community need.
There you go.
So
Happy to do it.
yeah, good. Keep doing it.
Yes, sir.
All right. All right. So yeah, come check out what they got, new stuff and fresh stuff and foeders and barrels and good times all await you here at True Anomaly Brewing. So we'll wrap there, and everybody come give them a visit and tell them InterBrews sent you, or don't, just come visit. Either way. All right. So happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Is this the last one before Thanksgiving? I think so. Is next week Thanksgiving?
It
Next
is,
week?
yeah.
Yeah, this will be our
You're
last-
not working next week.
No, I'm not. No, I'll be eating.
Yeah.
Yeah, at Friendsgiving on Tuesday. Here at True Anomaly.
Well, can I just call you Duck?
You may.
Is that friends call you Duck?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
That's what
All
it's
right.
called.
For Duck and Tom and everybody here at True Anomaly, my name is Josh. Thanks for listening. This is InterBrews.
This is InterBrews.
Don't forget about that Patreon page, y'all. I'm poor.
The preceding has been a presentation of Stewed Productions.